5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome everybody to Weiss Camera Action. I, of course, am your host, Aaron Weiss, alongside the Duchess of Dunwoody, the Sage of Sandy Springs, Erica J. Lavender.
Hello.
I thought you were going to go longer than that. And joining us once more, the Belle of the Bard, Maya E. Lavender.
Hi.
So, Maya, last night Erica and I were having this discussion, and we were talking about Auntie Anne's pretzels. You know, the pretzel place that you can really only find in malls.
Yeah.
And we were talking about our usual order for there, and I was wondering what do you get when you go to an Auntie Anne's pretzels?
I feel like my regular order and Erica's regular order is maybe the same order because I don't know that I'm ever at an Auntie Anne's and eating something and Erica is not there. Because I also don't know the last time I was in a mall.
Right.
Period. I also don't know the last time that I went shopping in a mall by myself, and usually I'm there with Erica. That being said, the little pretzel nugget bite things, the pretzel dough that is not in the shape of a pretzel. Any flavor of that is good.
Whoa.
The cinnamon whatever one is so good. But sometimes baby is feeling savory.
You know,
sometimes baby is feeling
I really respect that answer, and my answer is similar but the opposite. I usually lean savory, but sometimes I could go sweet, you know. And but I was gonna say I typically go for the pretzels because they're usually made fresh, like to order. And the nuggets are not. They're usually like in the little warmer thing. So I will order the nuggets for sure if I see them being just put in the warmer, like as I'm about to order, like while I'm waiting in line or something.
That's a good life hack.
But yeah, we talked about this for like 20 minutes last night.
Extensively.
And I was like, this is pretty good podcast content. And I was like, Erica, just imagine this. Just imagine this. All right. Just you get the pretzel, the warm, buttery, soft pretzel with the salt, with the flakes of salt on there, right? And you get the cheese, the warm, gooey cheese that's not actually cheese, but it's tastes cheesy, and then you just dunk it in there, and you have this perfect bite. It's just the perfect bite. And it's so good.
And as he was pitching this bite to me, I kept trying to interrupt to make him imagine the cinnamon pretzels, but he's like, no, you need this full experience right now.
Yeah. I will say, however, that the soft pretzels that you can get from Target is a different question.
Really?
No, we were talking. That's what sparked this whole conversation.
Oh
if you
yeah,
remember.
you said you liked the regular ones.
Yeah, I said imagine just having like a nice day out. You go to Target, you get your soft pretzel, you're just browsing the aisles, and then you said, "Oh, but imagine this: you're at the mall and you get." And anyways, that's how it all came about.
Huh?
Because it literally is the exact opposite. If you're at Target and you like for whatever reason desperately need a soft pretzel.
Which happens.
For sure. Not saying it like it never happens, because it definitely does. But it's not like an every time you go to Target type of deal.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a salty one, and it's gonna be so salty it hurts your mouth, and that is what you want from it.
I did have this question for Erica. If there's an Auntie Anne's and a Cinnabon like across from each other in the mall, and knowing that you crave warm, cinnamony, sugary goodness when you're in the mall, where do you go?
Auntie Anne's, because I literally never go to Cinnabon.
Wow.
I had the same reaction, and Aaron just looked at me for the longest time without speaking.
Because it's also like, I don't know, I feel like I could get a really like exciting cinnamon roll. And like I don't know, I feel like cinnamon rolls I could make, like I could get one of those little like things of cinnamon rolls that
Yeah.
you like make and you like pop them open and put them in your oven and then you have cinnamon rolls. That's like so much more accessible for whatever reason in my brain than like buying frozen soft pretzels and making them.
Fair.
That's really valid.
That's a really valid question or valid answer. But you know what? This is not Snackcast. This is Weiss Camera Action, the show where each and every week on your favorite podcast service, Erica and I review movies/series of movies. If you like that and you want to be part of the show, go to patreon.com/Weisscast, where $1 a month tier grants you the ability to ask questions that you want to be aired on the podcast, or you can write in your Darmok review. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't checked the email lately, but I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that there's nothing in there. But you know what? One day, it's Valentine's Day. I'm asking nicely, people, please write us in a Darmok review for the next movie. Also, the $1 tier gets supporters mentioned in the credits as well as shout out during the show. Big thank you to our producers, Chronoslinger and Pepe Danger. If you don't have any change to toss our way, no big deal. You can catch the show each and every week on podcast services around the globe. Housekeeping. This is our last week of Twilight.
Aww.
This is the last episode. And next week, we're moving into the Dark Knight trilogy with special guest.
C. Tally
Davidson, a.k.a. Erica's roommate.
Yes. And childhood best friend since I was like 3.
Yes. All of these things are true. But we'll get to that next week. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be first impressions. All right, Loka. Impress me.
Once again, I fell asleep while watching this movie. I've been very sleepy recently. I've been really busy recently.
Mm-hmm.
And so anytime I just have what I know will be over an hour of time uninterrupted,
Mm-hmm.
my brain is like, use this to get sleep. That's a good use of this time.
That's valid.
And then it's also like, it's like 8 degrees outside or whatever, and my room and my bed is so warm. So my first impression of this movie was that it was fine. Not as exciting as I like. It's like, honestly, no Breaking Dawn Part 1. Certainly no New Moon. And I fell asleep for probably like I know I fell asleep for the big action at the end, which we can talk about later. But yeah, I was not dazzled. I was not razzled, nor was I dazzled.
Yeah, I think that. So my first impression watching this, I haven't watched this movie with someone who didn't know the ending since my first time watching this movie. So that upped the enjoyment level for me, because I think that this was the first huge thing. Like, there were a bunch of huge things in Twilight that you kind of already knew about, you know what I mean? But you did not know about, like, this insane ending. So that kind of upped the enjoyment for me, but only on, like, being entertained by external things around the movie, not the actual movie itself, if that makes sense, which I think just speaks to how the movie is. It's not... I think that there's some good things happening in it, but it's just overall not... It's, you know what? It just barely is in the top 5 of my favorite Twilight movies, and there's only 5 Twilight movies.
This movie is like 4/5 of a really good movie. Like, those first, like hour and a half, those first 90 minutes were action-packed and well-paced and lots of action, lots of emotion happening. But yeah, I mean, the last, fifth of the movie really ruined it, and it was awful. And you know what? I feel pretty comfortable saying this series is kind of a waste of time.
Whoa.
That's some fighting words.
Maybe not the series, just the movie, but
You need to go into the series knowing you will not be satisfied by the end of it. I think that's what you need to know.
yeah. Also, I mean, I did genuinely enjoy like Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Eclipse and the first Twilight.
Mhm.
Like, I genuinely enjoyed all the other movies.
Yeah.
They were kind of fun to make fun of, or
Yeah.
whatever. This one's not even fun to make fun of. Like, it was like a pretty good movie for an hour and a half.
There's one line that's fun to make fun of.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But it's just like, it's a pretty good movie for an hour and a half, and then it just craps it all away,
Yeah.
Hit me with some fun facts. I need something fun to bring me out of this angry mood towards this movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. So, our fun facts this week are mainly going to be about Mackenzie Foy, the actress who played the oldest version of Renesmee.
Okay.
Fun fact number 1. To protect Mackenzie Foy on the set, Bill Condon, the director, has set up a swear jar where any cast and crew members caught swearing or uttering profanities were fined on the spot. The amount collected from the jar was donated to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. I have no idea how much was collected, though, so...
$1 million.
And it's all from Robert Pattinson.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Mackenzie Foy, 10 actresses portrayed the rapidly growing Renesmee Cullen, as well as a CGI animated baby, which I don't think any of us are surprised to hear, because that baby sure was CGI animated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wonder if they, had an actual baby there, and they, did something over the face, or if it was just a doll. Probably just a doll. That makes more sense.
Well, I actually have a third fun fact about this baby, so.
Mm-hmm.
Both an animatronic baby and 3-week-old babies were used in the film.
That's horrifying. Why an animatronic?
Have you seen footage of this animatronic baby? It's simply horrid. It's bad, bad, bad. It's a scary baby. Yeah, so both animatronic baby and 3-week-old babies were used in the film. Kristen Stewart preferred working with the real babies because she felt they helped her give a better performance.
Yeah, fair enough. No kidding.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to be like, oh, I love and care about this real human entity that I gave birth to, and it's an animatronic?
Worse than Stuart Little.
Bringing up Stuart Little at a time like this. How dare you?
Sorry. And we have one last fun fact, guys. And it is, every song that appears in the film and on the soundtrack is original and written specifically for the film.
That is interesting.
Isn't it? I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird.
That is kind of weird. That's not usually a thing outside of musicals.
Right.
Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Now we're going to go on to the summary. And boy howdy do I hope that there's mess ups in this. The movie picks up where the previous movie left off, right when Bella Cullen opens her eyes after her transformation into a vampire. She finds her senses that's a hard word to say. Senses heightened by many times. Well, what a way to put that. And savors a moment with her husband, Edward Cullen, and her perfected beauty. She requests to meet her daughter, Renesmee Cullen, as if we forgot. But Edward tells her she needs to hunt first. During the hunt, she quickly learns to harness her heightened senses and abilities. When the scent of a human hiker crosses her nose, she immediately attempts to hunt the hiker until Edward tells her not to. She quickly comes to her senses and runs away, much to Edward's amazement. As a newborn, she shouldn't be able to. Bella tries to feed on a deer, but a mountain lion attacks her first, forcing Bella to settle for the feeding on the lion instead.
I don't think she settled. I think she was kind of happy to have the mountain lion rather than the deer.
I think she wanted the fight, you know?
Yeah.
Get some aggression out, pent up aggression.
And that's a cool shot. That's one of my favorite shots in the movie, actually, when she, like, jumps on the mountain lion and, like, rips his head off.
Yeah, they're all like...
Yeah. And you know how we feel about all that growling.
Oh, yeah. When they return home, Jacob Black tells Bella that she still looks like herself, though the red eyes are something to get used to. He then uses himself as a test subject to see if she is tame enough to meet her daughter without hurting her. Once she passes the test, she goes on to meet Renesmee, who shows her first memory of Bella as a human thanks to her gift. Bella then finds out that Jacob has imprinted on Renesmee and angrily confronts him about it. However, everyone is impressed by her restraint, given that a newborn would have typically killed him by now. Her anger escalates to...
Can I just say, it actually says killed by him now.
Oh.
Which I just thought was funny.
Oh.
I mean, it's just a typo. I'm sorry. Whoever wrote this, I did not need to point out your typo like that. That was so rude.
We get it. You majored in English.
Her anger escalates to nearly dangerous level when Jacob calls her daughter Nessie, a nickname derived from the Loch Ness Monster, to the point that she attacks, or she tries to attack him. You named my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
Great line.
And also, to be fair, she named her daughter Renesmee, which is really asking for a nickname like Nessie.
It sure is.
Yeah.
So one can only be so mad.
It's true. Seth Clearwater interferes and gets thrown into the tree by Bella herself, and she apologizes to him right after. Jacob continues to reason with Bella about the situation and finally succeeds. At nightfall, Bella's sister-in-law, Alice Cullen, takes them to their cottage where Bella, Edward, and Renesmee will call home. Bella and Edward spend the night there, where Erica will explain.
Bella is just pondering the fact that since they don't get tired, she's just thinking about the adult things that they may be doing in their cottage, in the privacy of their own home.
I will say, I did not remember this being so much of a part of any of the Twilight movies or any of the books. Granted, I did read them when I was like 10, and so I read a lot of like romance novels and would be like, this is such a cute like friendship story. And it would be like very much not that. But I would just like skim over all of like the like wild sex scenes in the books and be like, this is a story about female friendship, first and foremost. So, long story short, I was like, since when is this like much of this in Twilight, in any of them? And in this movie, I was like, what's going on? I was thrown for a loop a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely a presence in the last film, but I think it's even more so in this film, honestly.
I think it is.
Yeah.
You may want to start here.
Okay. They return to the Cullen house the next morning, where they discuss how Bella will fake her own death to keep her father, Charlie Swan, from finding out about her new situation, from being her being a new vampire in Renesmee's existence. Jacob, upset by the thought of separation from Nessie, runs to Charlie to show him his ability to transform into a wolf and explain that Bella had to change in order to get better from her illness. All right. Were they born? Born in labs. Now it's time to rank those abs. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rank Those Abs, the podcast on the podcast where we rank those abs. This of course, is the infamous striptease in front of Charlie. And you know what? I think everyone enjoyed it except for Charlie.
Yeah, this is honestly first and foremost Charlie's movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that Charlie is the most sympathetic character in this movie easily.
Maybe in the whole series.
Yeah, he's really the only one that we are like somewhat close to in the series, I guess, who does not know
Yeah.
what's going on. I guess now he's in on the werewolf thing, but he only knows that Jacob is.
Mhm.
Which I'm sure he can gather, maybe others of, like, the ones who have the tattoos all are or something. He might be able to gather that, but he doesn't know anything about vampires. Like, he just doesn't know a thing, which
Doesn't know.
makes his situation so hard since he's so close to so many people who are involved.
Yeah, it's so true. And, just I can only imagine that the abs of Jacob don't help at all. They don't help his understanding.
Probably not.
They're just like, oh, why are you showing me these? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if Jacob was a little thick, then it would have been like, oh, this is necessary for this boy to take his shirt off for him to give me pertinent information. But because he's shredded, it's like, Jacob, no, what are you doing?
Jacob, no, I have a new girlfriend and a family and stuff. Like, what are you doing? Charlie's just trying to be the best dad that he can be, and Jacob's just tempting him left and right.
Man.
But yeah, I think
I actually do think that, like, plot-wise, that is a clever way to tell Charlie just enough that he can keep Bella around. You know what I mean? But also not endanger her. Because if it's like, look, Bella had to turn into a vampire, then the Volturi would be like, well, now you have to either change him into a vampire or kill him. You know what I mean? But if it's like, okay, you know about werewolves. Bella's not a werewolf, but she is somehow different. That I think that gives him just enough to go on that he doesn't have to ask more questions,
Guys,
which is cool.
What if one of the werewolves imprinted on Charlie?
Dog.
How good would that have been?
I really wish that Jacob had imprinted on Charlie.
That really would have saved the series.
Okay, and I'm not saying that Twilight doesn't deserve, like, a gay romance moment, but, like, Leah Clearwater actually also deserves to have a love story because she had been in love with Sam, but then he imprinted on someone else, so he broke up with her to be with the girl he imprinted on, and then Leah was, like, still in love with him or whatever. So Leah deserves love. So,
wait, Leah's a werewolf, right?
Yeah.
So she theoretically could imprint.
She could, yeah, for sure. I'm like,
so you think,
but also her dad.
Leah imprints on Carlisle.
I was gonna say that she could have imprinted on Charlie, but I just remembered that her dad died and then her mom got with Charlie. So if she imprinted on Charlie and stole her mom's boyfriend, that would be
hilarious.
That would be funny.
If only Twilight were a comedy.
If only. If only.
You really could change some story beats, make it a great comedy series.
Maybe that will be a mission of ours.
Maybe.
A goal in life.
But I also feel like if they're making the claim or whatever that imprinting is not inherently romantic, then Jacob could imprint on Charlie and it'd be whatever.
Right, they'll just be super good bros.
Yeah, just like we're best friends.
Like his bodyguard. Isn't that what it is? It's like a protector, a brother, whatever you need me to be, I'll be that for you.
His deputy.
Nice. I like that.
Oh, that's going back to my gritty Jacob Black movie from like that I want.
Yeah.
It's just like it's him and Charlie like 15 years in the future, and there's like another vampire out there murdering people in Forks, and there's like a detective movie,
And it triggers.
And Charlie's been retired for like 5 years, but
and Jacob hasn't turned into a werewolf in years.
Yeah,
There's been no vampires around for a while.
Jacob needs his old partner back because he can't solve this mystery without Charlie Swan.
Whoa.
Right?
Honestly, let's make it.
Let's do it. Some Twilight fanfic. We'll call it 50 Shades of Grey.
Whoa, that's just an original name. No one has ever named a Twilight fanfic that before.
Where were we? Despite the resulting anger from Edward and Bella, Jacob partly calms them by explaining that he didn't tell Charlie about vampires. Charlie confronts Bella, demanding answers, but she explains she would have to leave if he wants the truth. They compromise, with the Cullens staying longer if Charlie agrees to accept the limited information. Then he meets Renesmee, the adopted daughter of Bella and Edward, which I don't that solves one aspect. Oh, like where'd this daughter come from?
Mm-hmm.
It does not solve the aspect of why she's growing up so fast.
Oh yeah, and it will not solve in 20 years when Bella still looks like she's 18. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think that eventually Charlie will put the pieces together that her and Edward are immortal, and that Renesmee is also immortal, but
once she turns 7.
When she turns that makes my entire body cringe, but we'll talk more later.
I do feel like since they don't have to sleep, they really could just stay up all night putting on extensive prosthetic makeup to make themselves look slightly older every time they go see Charlie, and it really wouldn't be that big of a deal. And Alice would probably have a great time doing it.
That would be right up Alice's alley, actually.
That would be baller, just like, oh, we're gonna go see Charlie tomorrow morning. Better stay up all night putting on this extensive makeup so he thinks that we age slightly.
Yeah, but Renesmee will always be an inexplicable.
Yeah, that's fine. Because when he saw her and he was like, "Oh my God, you've gotten so tall! Like, you grew like a half a foot." And he looked at Bella and said, "Is this one of those need to know things?" And she said, "Yep, Dad, it sure is." So they already have the language to be like, don't ask, don't tell her. Nice. Whoa. But yeah. No, don't ask, don't tell, but it's not homophobic, it's about vampires.
Right.
Exactly.
But also, do ask, don't tell, in a much more real sense.
Yeah.
They're still not gonna tell.
Right.
You can ask all you want, but I'm keeping these lips sealed, honey.
Charlie figures out the truth when he sees his daughter's brown eyes in the young girl's face. After Charlie leaves, Bella is congratulated for her self-control, but Emmett teases her even though Edward warns him not to anger the strongest vampire in the house. Emmett and Bella have an arm wrestling match, which she wins due to her superior newborn strength. She remarks that though her time as a human was over, being a vampire has made her more alive. And that she was born to be one. Oh, she was born to be one. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Sam and Jacob's pack resolve their differences. Renesmee's rapid growth causes worries to the Cullens, who plan to travel to Brazil, which I have so many problems with. Why Brazil? You know what I mean? Like, I get that they're like trying to be an alternate like vampire fiction thing, but like all the classical vampire stories have come from Eastern Europe. All of them.
Right.
Brazil, what? Come on.
I think, on their honeymoon, how they were in Brazil?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, let's ask our housekeepers if they know anything, because they're, like, they might have legends that they've heard or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I think it's the same group of people that they're going to visit in Brazil.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. But to be fair, Stephanie
is also
made them sparkle in the sun instead of burn in the sun, so she really just does whatever she wants.
Yeah. It is also a little bit just like let's go and find these people that we don't know very well and just like take information from them and then not give them anything in return. A little like let's go Let's go have a very one-sided relationship with these people in Brazil.
Causes worries to the Cullens who plan to travel to Brazil to learn about the legends that may tell them how Renesmee will turn out in the future. At the rate of her development, Renesmee may live a shorter life than a human. Months later, Irina comes to Forks and misidentifies Renesmee as an immortal child, a child who has been turned into a vampire. When she sees her from a distance, Bella tries to catch up to her, but fails. Irina then travels to Italy to inform the Volturi of her incorrect judgment, um, which triggers Alice's vision of their doom, which seems a little dramatic. But in the hopes of resolving the matter peacefully, the Cullens set out to find their friends, the Denali, Egyptian, Irish, Amazon, and Romanian covens, as well as some nomads from all around the world, to stand witnesses for them and prove to the Volturi that Renesmee is not an immortal child. Meanwhile,
So can I give a little tangent about immortal children for the people?
Yep.
It's like immortal children were like way back in the 1,000 years ago, I feel like, in vampire time. The vampire coven in Denali, their mom had basically bit like a 2-year-old human and bit that child, turned him into a vampire. But he still had the superhuman, like the vampire strength and bloodthirst and everything. So he could like literally destroy a village. And he also doesn't have like his emotional, mental like capabilities are stunted as a 2-year-old. So he couldn't be taught to not do that. Like ever. He'd just be like eternally a 2-year-old vampire. So the Volturi stepped in and destroyed the immortal child and also killed the Denali's mom. So that's why Arita freaks out when she sees Renesmee, because she's like, oh my gosh, like this can get people killed, like this is awful, like it's a crime essentially. But Renesmee is not that. She was born not bitten, as Bella so eloquently puts it.
Mm-hmm. So eloquently put it. Meanwhile, due to an increasing amount of vampires staying in the Cullens to witness Renesmee's growth, more and more of the Quilliats begin to turn, joining the pack. Bella finds out that she has the ability to block psychic powers from Elizar and Edward, and begins to learn how to protect others with it. Bella finds a clue left by Alice in her book, Wuthering Heights, who has left the family with Jasper and goes to find Jay Jinks, a lawyer who has been forging illegal documents for the Cullens for decades. He gives Bella a set of IDs, passports, and driver's licenses forged for Renesmee and Jacob. Seeing this, Bella realizes that Renesmee will survive, but also realizes that she and Edward will not be a part of their daughter's life. Bella packs several $1,000 along with forged documents into a backpack so Renesmee and Jacob will not have financial problems for a while. She also includes a letter to her daughter to explain things. Alstar, one of the witnesses, leaves for his own survival. Yeah, that guy sucked. The Cullens and their allies gather around a bonfire the night before the confrontation and share war stories. Upon confronting the gathered Cullens witnesses the following morning, the Volturi discover that they have been misinformed. They then immediately execute Irina for false accusation in a ploy to get Kate and Tanya to retaliate in vengeance as a justification to fight. However, Zafrina prevents them from doing so. The Volturi remain undecided on whether Renesmee should be viewed as a threat to vampires' secret existence Alice and Jasper return in time to present their proof that Renesmee poses no danger, but Aro is determined to destroy the Cullens. Carlisle attempts to save Alice, but is immediately destroyed by Aro. The rest of the Cullens, Volturi, and their respective allies engage in a huge battle during which Jasper, Seth, and Leah Clearwater are. Oh, I didn't realize that Leah was killed.
I didn't realize that either.
Are killed along with multiple others, while Renesmee escapes with Jacob. Arrow personally attacks Bella and Edward after most of his coven is destroyed, which results in his own destruction at Bella and Edward's hands.
And isn't that great? Because Aro is the worst. He's been
sucks.
a menace for like 2,500 years.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, wow, what a great ending. Yeah, some main characters that we know and love are killed, but that's usually what happens in final battles of series. And now the Volturi is also gone. Amazing.
Amazing.
Wouldn't you think? Wouldn't you think?
You know what? In the movie right there, maybe flash forward a few years to the old black household.
Freeze frame, some on-screen text. Where are they now?
Where are they now? Jacob and Renesmee living it up in Forks. Thumbs up.
Edward is still 17. Bella is still 18.
They moved
Alex is still 17.
22. Oh no, I forgot he died. Esme is still 22.
Anyways, that doesn't happen, but the scene is then brought back to the moment when Alice, quote, shows Aro her proof, revealing that the entire battle scene was a vision of his demise if he proceeds with his plan to destroy them. The new witnesses, Hullen and her half-vampire nephew, Nahul, tell their story, revealing that hybrids are actually much like pure vampires, but with a few human traits. The Volturi then leave in peace with Aro's confirmation that there is no danger in letting the child live. As they leave, Aro glances back at Alice, then Bella, realizing that he has given up much to save himself and his coven from annihilation. The Cullens and their allies take a moment to rejoice in their victory. The Romanians demand to launch an attack, but no one is willing to, prompting their ambition to come to an end. As Jasper and Renesmee bid their friends goodbye. Wait. What?
As Jasper and Renesmee
Oh.
bid their friends goodbye, Edward and Jacob relish.
That's just such a weird thing. Jasper. Do they not mean Jasper and Alice?
Oh, I'm sure that's what they mean. I'm sure.
Edward and Jacob relish in their knowledge that Renesmee will be around for a long time. Their uneasiness about her lifespan is then put to rest. Edward tells Jacob that she is lucky to have him. Jacob asks if he should start calling Edward Dad. Ugh. But he refuses immediately. Renesmee asks Bella if they will be together now. Bella agrees. While the four of them, Bella, Edward, Jacob, and Renesmee, share a moment together, Alice sees a vision of their future. Renesmee has grown into a fine young woman. This is, mind you, this is just, 6 years later or whatever.
Right.
And is living happily and peacefully with Jacob and their family. Edward, who saw it through her mind, responds with a smile. Sometime later, back at the meadow, classic, Bella removes her shield to give Edward access to her thoughts for the first time. An amazed Edward asks how she did it, and she replies, "I've been practicing." Then adds that he knows no one has ever loved anyone as much as she loves him, but he disagrees, saying there is one exception. He then asks her to remove her shield again. She assures him that they have a lot of time. Edward adds, "forever," and Bella agrees. The movie concludes with Bella and Edward kissing as the scene turns black and white and then opens to the final page of the Breaking Dawn novel and fades out on the word forever. Well,
There's one part of that ending that I do like.
the forever part.
I like that that's always been a huge thing with Edward and Bella, that Edward can read every mind except for Bella's. And for Bella to learn that she's a shield, and then to be able to practice, like, extending her shield to protect others, gave her the idea to maybe remove the shield entirely from herself, so then, finally, Edward would have the opportunity to read her mind.
It's
so
a
he
really
can see how much she loves him. I think that's a sweet ending, honestly. I would be happy if that ending happened after what, you know what I mean? Like, after the rough ending of, like, some main characters dying. I think that would be a nice way for it to end.
Right.
It's also a good metaphor for, like, being all tough, and then you, like, learn to help others, and then you learn to, like, ask for help and, like, let people in, and that shield is a really good metaphor for that. So thanks, Stephanie Meyer.
Thanks, Stephanie Meyer. You're right, Maya.
Yeah.
So
It's
she had a lot of growing to do.
Zombies for leprosy.
Pardon?
I said it's almost as good of a metaphor as zombies are for leprosy.
True. Anna Kendrick would not think that's funny, though. Don't say that around her.
She wouldn't.
She would not think that's funny.
Erica,
Like don't even bring it up around.
I will hit you with some analysis. Okay, so Bella becomes a vampire. Great. I think that the series had been calling for that all along. So, like, I'm looking at this movie as a finale. I'm looking for what things the series has been calling for, and if it fulfills that. Yes, it fulfills that. And Charlie gets to stay around. I think that's really great. I'm very glad about that.
And I think that because Charlie gets to stay around, we also presume the mom gets to stay around.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't really think that the story needed Edward and Bella to have a baby, but you know what? That was the whole plot of the last one, so, like, sure, like, good. Like, well, that's fine. I don't really care. One thing that I think the story really needed was the end of the Volturi. I think that the entire series was, like, begging for the Volturi to end. The fact that the series ends and the Volturi is still out there is so unsatisfying to me. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is in a lot of ways, this movie as a finale satisfies a lot of what I think the series needed, but in, like, the biggest way,
it failed.
Like, the main villain throughout the entire series doesn't face any consequences.
Say, though, that I do remember when there was, like, all the Twilight hype or whatever, and it was a thing to be like, oh my god, like, vampires literally could be real, and we would never know because of the Volturi. And the Volturi could literally be real, and we would never know because they would kill everyone who knew. So it added some sense, like, the Volturi, like, still being around, added some sense of, like, wow, this all could still, like, this all could be actually happening, which is, like, kind of fun when you're 12.
Sure. That's okay.
That's a pretty fair point.
Okay, so, like, 12-year-old me agrees, but 22-year-old me is not pleased. Now that I have some
critical thinking
skills.
No,
I
that
would
that
have
prefrontal
loved
cortex
for
has developed a
Dakota
little
Fanning. What?
So now that prefrontal cortex has developed a little bit more?
Absolutely. I would have loved for Dakota Fanning and Aro and at least a couple other of them to have died.
Oh, the creepy looking one? You know what I mean? Like the older looking one?
Oh, yeah.
He's so creepy.
And right before he got killed in the movie, he said, finally. Like, as he realized he was going to die, which I never realized. Like, that's so dark. He had probably been alive for 3,000 years.
I will also say that it is a little bit hard for, like, a villain that isn't, like, a very, like, two-dimensional character, for it to be, like, for that to be taken down or whatever. Because it seems like you would literally have to kill every single member of the Volturi, which seems like it might actually be, like, a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a connection lost signal, so I don't know if you guys can still hear me.
We can hear you.
No, I can hear you.
Yeah, because it's just like they're so like cartoonishly evil. It seems a little bit like, and it also like their reach is so wide that it seems like it'd be really hard to like defeat the Volturi, because it's like you would literally have to kill so many vampires.
I think
So
you
it's
would
like maybe
really
she-
just have to kill Aro and the other ones that have insane powers, like Dakota Fanning and her twin brother, who can take away your sight, hearing, and touch. And then I think there's a couple other ones that have like insane powers. I think as long as they're gone, the Volturi can't stand.
What's Aro's power?
He can hold your hands and see every thought you've ever had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which makes him less powerful than Edward in one way, because Edward can read your mind from way across the room.
Uh-huh.
But Edward can only see your thoughts that you currently have. Whereas Aro can see any thought you've ever had.
and Renesmee can show you every thought that she's had.
Yes.
What a funny power.
Could you
Like, that's
imagine
literally
just like touching in the forehead and just like, oh, Renesmee needs to poop.
Yeah, that's pretty much how she's communicating.
That's so funny. It's like,
It was like by the end of the movie, I
oh,
know
Renesmee's hungry.
by the end of the movie, she was only like 4 months old, but she looks like she's
like not
8.
10 or something.
Yeah. So I'm like, she's got to grow up and start communicating with her big girl words. Like, I know she's 4 months old, but still.
She also, like,
That's good.
hasn't socialized with any children her own age.
That's so true.
She's gonna be
She's
one of
gonna
those
socialize
weird
some
homeschooled
4-month-olds.
Well, it's like impossible for her to find friends, I feel like, until she's fully grown.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you can use a 10-year-old make friends with other 10-year-olds just for you to be 20 a year later.
Her first friend is Jacob, and they're gonna
Don't finish that sentence because I'm
get
too nervous
married.
about it. Okay, I guess you're right.
So, yeah, I think I said my piece about it at the beginning. I was like, this is mostly a good movie, and it's mostly satisfying until those last 15 or 20 minutes when it's just unravels with just this stupid, like, oh, it was all a vision.
Yeah. It's so annoying.
It could have been a very satisfying ending.
Giving me very much middle school writing exercise, write a creative story. All of them end with, and it was all a dream. This movie gives me very much that.
Yeah, it does. It's frustrating.
It's so frustrating. You know what? We were talking about the Volturi, and I should have definitely done this when we were talking about the Volturi, but do 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 do
Kadoo badoo.
do do do
Kadoo badoo.
do.
Kadoo badoo. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Kudu Badoo, the podcast within a podcast where cool dudes talk bad dudes. I am your host, Erica Lavender, and I'm joined by two other cool dudes, Maya and Aaron, as usual, as always. And this week, we are looking at the villains from Breaking Dawn Part 2. And I think the villain is the Volturi.
It is the Volturi.
And I got no more to say about
Well,
that.
also kind of Irina.
Oh, that's true. Irina made a oopsie.
She made an oopsie.
Yeah.
Where do these
That's
villains
tough.
rank? So as of right now, number 1, we have Victoria, Riley, and Jacob from Eclipse. Number 2, Volturi, Edward, and Bella from New Moon. Number 3, James and Edward from Twilight. And number 4, undefined, in parentheses, Patriarchy, Breaking Dawn Part 1.
I think one thing that this podcast has given me great insight on is that Stephanie Meyer is not great at writing villains.
I thought you were just gonna stop and not great at writing. Like, that's tough. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the most defined villains.
Right.
I mean, Victoria
Yeah.
and Riley also very defined villains.
But
As
it's like
well
we really spend this whole movie prepping to fight them.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So are these the best villains in the series?
I think so.
I think so.
All right.
I think that they're the overarching villain of the entire series. Really. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Breaking Dawn part. All right. The official rankings for bad dudes in the Twilight Saga are number 1, Volturi and Irina from Breaking Dawn Part 2. Number 2, Victoria, Riley, and Jacob from Eclipse. Number 3, Volturi, Edward, and Bella from New Moon. Number 4, James and Edward from the original Twilight. And number 5, undefined, parentheses, patriarchy, Breaking Dawn Part 1.
I think that's an accurate ranking.
That absolutely tracks.
Undefined, parentheses, patriarchy.
That's the
I
villain
don't
of
remember
part
how
one.
we got to that conclusion, but I believe that it's accurate.
Yeah. I believe that it is too.
You know, it's that time of the show where it's everyone's favorite podcast within a podcast, the Team Edward versus Team Jacob tracker. And I kind of feel like they're on equal footing this movie, more so than any other movie. But neither of them do anything particularly that either makes me happy or makes me sad.
Every one of Jacob's actions post imprinting is heinous to me, and I won't stand for it.
No, that's just the thing.
Mhm.
Is if you take imprinting, if you take imprinting for what it is and be like, okay, he couldn't help it, it's not that bad. But if you can't get over the imprinting thing, much like myself, then it's pretty heinous.
Yeah.
Like I think that if we're doing the Team Edward versus Team Jacob
Mhm.
tracker in terms of who's best for Bella,
Mhm, mhm.
this one has to be Team Edward.
Yeah.
Because they're married and they're
Mhm.
happy and they haven't really been having problems. I feel like in every other movie they're having really bad relationship problems, and in this one they're not.
Mhm.
So I think that this one is a big point for Team Edward in that
Yeah.
regard. But in
Turns
terms
out-
of who is being like the better human being, I'm still gonna have to give it to Edward because of Jacob's nasty "is it time for me to start calling you dad" comment. That to me was all the way out of pocket, and he should have
Uncalled
never
for.
even been thinking that in the
It was
first place.
all the way out of pocket.
That was a crime, and he's a villain.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I have to agree. Even though Jacob doesn't necessarily annoy me as much as a character, Edward is just so much better this movie.
Mhm.
And like you can tell he really loves Bella. They have like virtually no problems. Like it's a pretty satisfying ending for their relationship arc
I agree.
in
I
this
think for the
movie.
series to end with them married, both vampires, and happy is a great place for their relationship to end in the series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
feel like that's very much like if it didn't end on that note, then that'd be weird.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why Team Edward kind of seems like the right team to be on the whole time. Even though he sucks just a wee bit.
I think it's so hard to be Team Edward in New Moon, though.
That's valid.
Mhm.
And at
I'm
that
team-
point, Jacob
I
hasn't.
am Team Anna Kendrick for that one.
So fair. I think that New Moon is the movie for the Team Jacobers out there,
Yeah.
and that's probably why it does not rank high for me at all.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Anyways,
Valid.
I forgot what I was going to say, but I'm sure that it was very deep and well thought out
I can only imagine.
and eloquent.
Poignant.
Very
Profound.
poignant. all of these words that are words that would get you an A on an essay.
Yes.
You know what? I'm gonna read you guys my Darmok review. I'm pretty proud of it.
Let's hear it.
Aro, when the wig fell. Alice and Jasper in Brazil. You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
That's a great Darmok review. It really
Hell
encompasses
yeah.
everything you need to know. Aro's wig is tough news.
It's so bad.
Honestly, he probably can't grow hair anymore. Ever thought about that? He's been alive for so long that he can't grow hair anymore.
You're probably right
And
about that.
And the ugly wig is a character decision.
The ugly wig is a character decision.
Ever thought about that?
Well, you're probably right, because isn't hair like dead skin cells or something like that?
Dude, IDK.
Because if their skin is now made of like hard, stony ice, then yeah, he probably can't grow hair.
Hard stone.
Or maybe he was bald when he got turned into a vampire, and he thinks having long, luscious locks makes him more menacing.
Maybe.
You have lots of good thoughts up there, Maya.
You know what? There's this rule when you study avant-garde theater that you have to believe that every choice that was made and the performance was made intentionally and was made for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to believe that him having an ugly wig was a purposeful decision.
That's beautiful, actually.
Because
I love that Breaking Down Part 2 is avant-garde theater.
It is. It's...
The first Twilight is an indie film, and the last Twilight is avant-garde theater, and everything in between is still, the jury's still out on how you can classify
everything
it.
in between is camp.
Is camp. Amazing.
All right, I'm getting ready to score this movie.
Let's score it.
I'm gonna be brutal.
Be brutal if you gotta. I think I might be a little brutal on it myself.
Speak your truth, King.
I'm giving it a 3.
Whoa! Literally, at the beginning of this podcast, you said this is 4/5 a great movie.
Yeah.
But the last fifth was so bad. It brings it down to 3.
Last fifth really sullied it for you.
It really did.
I am going to give this movie a 5.5.
Valid. And I will be giving this movie an even 5. A 5.0.
Wait, what? That doesn't make sense. I did something wrong. Okay, this movie gets a 4.5, putting it in dead last.
Yay!
Yay!
Good job, everyone! Everyone involved in the production.
I somehow messed it up and it gave it like a 10. And I was like, what?
I think it's because PEMDAS.
All right.
We can't just be dividing by 3 willy-nilly like that.
All right, so the rankings for the Twilight Saga are New Moon and Breaking Dawn are tied for first. Or Breaking Dawn Part 1, sorry. New Moon and Breaking Dawn Part 1 are tied for first with a 6.8. Then Twilight with a 6.7. Then Eclipse with a 6.5. And rounding out Breaking Dawn Part 2 with a 4.5.
Which actually is kind of amazing that the first 4 movies all ranked so closely.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, like some movies edged out the others to a degree, but only so slightly. Like, I think that really goes to show that the first 4 movies were all pretty solid.
Yeah,
and
they
the last
really
one just
are.
Really tanked.
All of them are really of a similar quality.
Yeah.
But I do still think that they could have turned Eclipse and both of the Breaking Dawns all into one movie.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that.
I don't.
Or at
think
least into
that.
2 movies.
I think that they could have, yes, into 2 movies. Eclipse didn't need to be what it was. It could have been.
Yeah. You know
It
what?
honestly
Yes.
could have been Breaking Eclipse.
The
Parts 1 and
eclipse has
2.
been broken.
Breaking Eclipse Part 1 and 2. And the movie
Yeah.
could have ended with Bella finding out she's pregnant, or it could have ended with, you know what I
With
mean?
their wedding.
Yeah, and then the next movie could have been all about her pregnancy, Renesmee, and them fighting Volturi, and they did not need to tease us like that with that vision.
Mm-mm.
Or they could have just said, screw the books, we're going to actually kill too many characters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even though Stephanie Meyer is one of the head producers, and we've never let that slide, but...
Yeah. I will say that, like, I feel like some sort of representation of, like, this is what would have happened, or, like, what could have happened, like, is, like, a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it plays out of you being like, oh my god, all of these characters are dead, like, what? And then it being like, haha, just kidding, it's okay, is, like, not it.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe there could have been something there where you still see that vision, or some of that vision, or something.
But it's
you
clear that it's a vision.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I agree with you, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Maya, do you remember seeing this in theaters? And,
Yeah.
like, half of the theater, like, actually screaming?
The gasps.
Like, it was just like... I remember when Carlisle died being like, that didn't happen in the book. And people around us were like, no! Like, people were like,
Yeah.
like, freaking out. And then Jasper, and then Seth, and it was just like, death after death, and people were like, freaking out. Like, you could tell in the theater who had read the books. And then when it turned out to all be a vision, it felt like it was just such a crazy reaction of, like,
It really felt like I had been lied to.
it was a crazy reaction. Some people were like, oh, thank goodness it was just a vision, and other people were like, are you kidding me?
What the
Like,
hell?
It was wild.
No, that was my reaction.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
That is one of my crazier theater experiences, I feel like.
That was one of
Yeah.
my
Ooh,
crazier
that's-
watching a movie in bed experiences.
I will say all of my wild experiences watching movies in theaters have been very much teen YA novel adaptations.
Yeah. What else are you thinking? Like,
I'm thinking of when I went to the
Fault in Our
Stars,
Stars.
like,
Yeah,
midnight showing,
absolutely.
and that girl was like wailing.
Oh, bless her.
like from the second Ansel Elgort was on the screen, it was just like
That's nuts. I can imagine, though.
yeah. And like both, like, every Twilight movie I saw in theaters was like a ride.
Yeah. Absolutely. A real roller coaster.
Like, literally so fun.
So fun.
So, kind of before we started recording, Erica and I were talking about our personal rankings.
Mm.
And I kind of wanted to hear yours, Maya.
Okay.
And you don't have to say them, just like your preferred order.
Yeah. I think definitely New Moon.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun. And then I think this, like, if anyone goes back and, like, tries to match my scores with what I'm about to say right now, like, literally don't. I maybe then, like, the first Twilight and Breaking Dawn Part 1 are tied for
Mhm.
second. And then Eclipse, and then Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
I support that for you very much. I am pretty similar in that, except for New Moon is placed differently.
Yeah.
So Twilight and Breaking Dawn are both way up there for me. I put Breaking Dawn just slightly lower than Twilight because I love the first Twilight just too much.
know.
Then Eclipse, then New Moon, then Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Mine are, any guesses? Eclipse, Breaking Dawn Part 1, New Moon, Twilight, Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Valid.
This has been fun, everybody.
This really has been. This has been a very interesting voice camera action experience.
Mm-hmm. For the first time, you watching the films for the first time rather than you going in knowing.
Yeah, I don't get that experience very often, and you know what? I'm gonna get that experience again in another series that we'll do eventually with the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun. We'll need to find a Fast and Furious expert.
Nadia. I have a good friend who loves
J-Dog?
J-Dog.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That'll be a lot of fun. This, folks, has been Weiss Camera Action, the Twilight Saga. And I am your host, Aaron Weiss. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at The Weiss is Right. Follow Weisscast on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Weisscast. Maya, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MYLNLVNDR and on TikTok at Newborn Grandma.
And Erica.
You can find me both on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram at erica.lav and on Twitter at _lavenderica, which I've recently been told my Twitter handle looks like it's Spanish for laundromat.
That's funny because it is.
If there's a C in the Spanish word for laundromat, it would be Lavenderica.
That's so funny.
Folks, we'll see you next week. Until then, don't name your daughter after the Loch Ness Monster.
Adios.
Bye, Loca.
Stop.